What's up, guys? Today, we're going to learn how to drive fast like a boss. If you're going to drive fast, don't drive fast like a regular employee. Drive fast like a boss. So, guys, I just finished a workout at the gym. I was hitting the bag for a couple rounds. Before that, I went to a park and did a little bit of meditation. I haven't had water since last night, so it's been, I don't know, like 12 hours or so. I've done a lot of intermittent dry fasting, and I've done several prolonged dry fasts as well. So this is not a video about why you should dry fast or what the benefits are. I may make a future video on that. Another time. This will strictly be tips and tricks, pointers that I have found through my experience. And again, that's my experience. I want to make a disclaimer, consult a physician or something like that. And I'm not recommending anyone to dry fast, but you probably should. And at least every now and then, it's just good. So I'm gonna sit next to my girl Jamie here. She's so awesome. She's so still. She doesn't speak. It's just, she's just herself. It's so nice. So, preparation is key. Preparation is key. You don't have to, prepare for the dry fast, but you may feel shitty. The more you prepare, and the chances that it's going to be a more pleasurable experience. So the cleaner the diet, the cleaner the experience. That's just what it comes down to. A lot of the issues you may run into in dry fasting is due to the detoxing symptoms. So obviously the cleaner your vessel is, the less detoxing symptoms you'll go through. So less headaches. I mean, I've never experienced headaches in dry fasting, but I know a lot of people have. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and so I kind of want to clarify that as well, because it can be even dangerous. All right, there may be things that I say that you guys may resonate with, and things that you won't. So just take the things that you feel may work for you, throw away the rest. But I'm just going to share my entire experience, and like I said, you can keep what you believe and don't keep what you don't believe. But when I eat live foods, you want to stay to live foods, because live foods energize you. They already start cleaning your body as well. And the thing is, like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there when it comes to nutrition, because there's just so many variables, so many factors nobody really knows, Depending on what science you look at, coffee is good for you, and then you look at other articles and it's terrible, And spinach, the same person will tell you spinach is good for you, and a week later they'll be like, spinach is actually not good for you because it's got mycotoxins, blah, 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 whatever. So my theory is, test it out yourself. How does it feel when you consume such thing? How do you feel during and afterward, right? And I always feel the most energized on live foods. I mean, I could literally work out right after I eat. Whereas when I eat heavier stuff, and especially when I used to eat meat, I don't eat anymore. I definitely was, out of commission for like an hour or two. And even vegan foods, some of the heavier ones and cooked foods and things like that, I feel that has a bit of a drag as well. So depending on how long your dry fast is, for example, I've done a 5.5 day dry fast, and because I prepared thoroughly for it, I did raw foods the week prior. A few days before, I was only eating fruits, and I mean, it was a breeze for me. Those 5.5 days were super easy. I didn't run into any issues. So I would recommend, especially for the dry fast, before and after, stay away from the meats, And I even saw someone mention that meat is one of the most nutritious foods, and that it's easily digested. Listen, don't take my word for it. Fast for 24 hours. Eat meat. Tell me how long it takes to come out. Fast another 24 hours. Eat some fruits and tell me how long that takes. And the reason I say fast for 24 hours is so that your body can actually clean itself up and you know, you have a clean canvas to compare these things to. So anyway, you want to hydrate before going into the dry fast. Fruits. Fruits are one of the most hydrating foods. Obviously they're high in water content, but there's something about the water in the fruits that is different to like the regular water that you drink. So at some point, no matter how much water you drink, your body just starts to urinate it all, right? Because it's just too much water, and so it has like a threshold. But when you eat a lot of fruits, it tends to retain more of that water, and your water weight percentage will actually go up, and you can measure that yourself. So that's something that you can test yourself. Then obviously you want to drink a lot of water as well prior to going into it. Now this is a big thing, and again, this is something that not a lot of you may believe in, but it does have power, and that is your intention, right? So what I did, going to that 5.5 day dry fast, I set the intention. It doesn't matter what you set it into, but me in this particular case, I put my intention into the water that I was drinking, that it would keep me hydrated for the next 5.5 days. And so I set like a strong intention. You can call it a prayer or meditation. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, but you can even call it imagination, you know, and your imagination has a lot of power as well. You know, athletes use it to get better at their craft. So there's a lot to be said for that. Try it out. It only takes a few minutes, and it doesn't hurt, even if it's not real. If you don't believe in it, only takes a few minutes to just imagine that you're putting out that intention, and that you're gonna have a great 2 or 3 days or 5 or 7, whatever amount of time it is that you plan to dry fast. Now during the dry fast, right, man, if you know any breathing exercises, do them, because dude, they will energize you. If you know about Wim Hof breathing, I'll probably make a future video on that as well. Wim Hof breathing is just super powerful, and day 2 on my dry fast, I actually felt a bit weaker waking up. I did the Wim Hof method, and boom, I was back to 100%. No joke. Breathing exercises are powerful. And just imagine, our body needs food, it needs water, and it needs oxygen, needs air, right? It could go without food for a while. It can go without water only a couple days according to science. And without air, you know, we can't go past several minutes, you know? So it tends to be the most important one. So it's no surprise that if you do some breathing exercises, you'll start to feel more energized. You'll start to make this whole process easier on you. You are gonna be more sensitive, like, to people's frequencies and whatnot, right? Like to negative vibes and stuff like that. Because you have no food, no water in your system, you being in a negative state is gonna be more draining than it normally is. So just be careful with that. Energy vampires and stuff like that, you may want to stay away from them. You may even want to seclude yourself for some time, take some time off work. Work will definitely can be difficult on a dry fast, but it's all on your state of mind as well. You know, if you feel you could do it, you probably can. If you feel you can't, you can't, you know. But just don't be surprised if you feel some type of way at work. That's why I'm warning you. Do what you love. Do the things that you love, the things that excite you, because this energizes you and just makes the time go by better. You know, so whatever it is that you enjoy doing, whatever hobbies you have, do those. And you may notice that whenever you feel happy, whenever you're excited, whenever you're really focused on a project, you don't even, you know, you can go a whole day without eating and you don't even realize it. Until the end of the day, you're like, wow, I haven't eaten all day, and then bam, then all the hunger comes in once you realize that. So there's a type of nurturing that you get just from that alone, and it'll keep your mind focused, you know, and it'll keep it focused on positive things as opposed to, shit, I haven't had any water and whatever, you know, because the mind games really is what drains you the most, you know. Your body can go without water for quite some time. Nature is very healing, being outside. There's a type of nurturing you get out of that as well. And if you could walk in nature, even better. Walking, there's just so many benefits to walking. And it's great because it's not intense. It's a light exercise, gets your body moving, gets your lymphatic system going. And again, it keeps you focused on something and keeps your mind out of thinking about water. And so for most people, you may want to stick to light, some light exercises. So walking is good, running, maybe not so much. It depends on your body. But when I did dry intermittent fasting, which that's another thing I wanted to get into, before you start, you want to have at least done some water fast, right? At least gone without food for a while. I mean, you know, get used to not having food and before you go into nothing. You don't want to die out here. So start slowly. And one of the great ways you can introduce yourself into dry fasting before you go into prolonged ones, just to make it all easier for you, is do intermittent dry fasting, which means like small windows of no water every day. Or for a short, window time span for 3 days or something like that. So how I started, for example, and you can start with even less, you can start with like 10 hours every day, right? I started with 12. So for example, that would mean I drank water at midnight the night before. I won't have water again until noon the next day. And then little by little, you can build that up, to 14 and then 16 hours and then maybe 18 hours or whatnot. And that'll get you used to how it feels and things like that. And then prolonged dry fasting will be a lot better. You may find there seems to be like a little threshold that you'll pass. Like in the beginning, you'll be thinking about water, you have the dry cotton mouth and stuff. And then there comes a point in time where like your body just knows, okay, I guess we're not getting water. And then it kind of like evens out a bit, and it's not as bad. And you may even find that some saliva starts to come back as well. So that's another interesting thing. You may feel different while dry fasting. So like for me, I feel kind of antisocial when I dry fast, just to be honest. I don't feel like I'm not like my usual bubbly, outgoing self. I just kind of want to post up by a tree and just sit down and vibe all day. That's the kind of mood that I get. You may even feel a slight irritation. There may be different emotions that'll come up to you, that'll come up for you. There may even be more intense emotions, and if you are getting intense emotions, just know that those are also detoxing symptoms there and things that are being released. So that's actually a good thing. If some intense emotions come up, just observe them. Don't think or analyze too much about them, and do some deep breathing. That'll help too. Deep breathing will help during this entire process. So I would strongly recommend deep breathing. Now, coming out of the dry fast, also very important, guys. I mean, if you do a 1-day dry fast, doesn't matter much, but anything longer, and even if it's your first time doing a 24-hour dry fast, you may want to take it slow. Start with water. There's a lot of people that go straight into like orange juice and even, some foods and other crazier, more acidic things. So start with water, and you want to start, even with the water, you want to start slow. And keep in mind, now it's different for everybody, but keep in mind that once you reintroduce the water into your body, you may feel quite tired. It like grounds you, it's like your body is going back into obviously not digestion mode, but in a sense, it goes back into those processes of turning externalities that you're consuming into energy and into matter. And so that process itself is a bit taxing on the body. At least that's my theory. And so you may feel tired afterward, that whole next day of drinking water. And I'd recommend just a few cups the first 2 hours, and then after that you can reintroduce more water. If you want to really be on the safe sides, later on you can introduce diluted juices, which means 50% water, 50% juice, and then later on some juices. And then I would stick to like fruits and vegetables before I add nuts and heavier things and even meats and things like that. You want to start off slow and see how your body's taking all these things. Because the last thing you want to do is undo everything you just did. I mean, remember, your body's going through some heavy detoxing, and in a sense, it's becoming like a sponge that's just drying out, right? So it's going to absorb the hell out of whatever you reintroduce into it, and you want to reintroduce good stuff. I mean, you just cleaned out your body. Do you really want to add crap back into it, I mean, what's the point? You know, it's like emptying a can and then refilling it with trash again. I mean, you know, add good stuff to it, especially initially, because your body's going to really hold on and make the most out of those nutrients that you're giving it. So, well, that's it, guys. I hope that helps. I'll make a future video on why dry fasting, the benefits, and probably a little bit more on my experience. But those are some of the tips and pointers that I have for dry fasting. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll answer you. And also go ahead and subscribe if you're into these kind of things. I also plan to share other knowledge that I have on other facets of life. I'll make another video on the Wim Hof method as well, and breathing and things like that. Anything health, consciousness related, and even exercise. All right, love y'all. Peace.